All right, I guess I won't go do that. All right, we're live. Toby probably will not be here today. Bottle Fiend is late to the party. McStash is changing his underwear, getting ready for the putting his diapers on. Getting ready for whatever shenanigans happens. I see, looks like 3 people in the live chat. I don't know who yet, but let me update my browser here.
I think it's us.
And probably just us. We're always early, though. Early to the show.
Yeah, we still got 4 minutes, right?
Yeah. We usually don't start the questions till 2. We go on a little early, though. But let's see. Nobody in the comments yet.
Oh, I ain't even got that pulled up yet. Well, you can do that from here, though, can't you? I just found out you can see the comments from here, though, can't you?
Yeah. There you go. Trucking Bikers here. Mr. G's here. Tripping Trikers.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So it isn't just the 3 of us here.
Yeah.
Can we chat here?
Biker and Bibbs. There we go. Jason Sutliff. Yeah. Petron. Yeah, we got a pretty good crew already building up here. Hope everybody's surviving. I don't know what the weather's like everywhere else. We got about 3 inches of snow coming down today. My wife's traveling from Pittsburgh. They had the state championships for the cheerleading for my stepdaughter this weekend. All 5 divisions placed in the top 3 in their division.
Where's she at?
Down by Pittsburgh. They're coming. They're on the way home now, but it's snowing here pretty good. Like I've gone out to clear the solar panel off on the shed probably 2-3 times today. Turned the heat on out here. It was 29 degrees when I first came out here at 11 o'clock to check everything. Oh, there we go. And we have the birthday boy coming on in 3, 2, 1. There you go. Happy birthday. Oh, and he's gone. See? He bailed on us. Thanks.
You said happy birthday.
He didn't want the birthday talk in there.
He was hoping.
Forget this.
We don't have any strippers. I don't see Anonymous here, so he's not probably prepared to give us a little dance. So, where'd he go? He must have had technical difficulties. We got Jason White, Ozarks HD Riders. Like I said, Truck and Biker, Jason Sutliff, Mr. G. Like I said, Toby's most likely not going to be here today. He was had a pretty good deal set up where he was helping his dealership move motorcycles today. Hopefully they don't have any snow in his area when they're doing it. But, hey, where'd he go? Yeah, we lost Throttle Fiend again. I don't see him. Let's see. I'm going to start watching the comments on my phone. Yeah, Ozarks. Still recovering from last year's ride. What's Sinister Clutch? If you haven't watched any of the live streams, you wouldn't know what that's about.
Right.
All right. I'll wait a couple more minutes. Let me see. We usually start the questions at 2. It's almost there. He is. All right. Let's try this again. Try to get the birthday boy on. 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday.
Hey, happy birthday.
And he's hello.
Thank you. Sorry, I had opened up YouTube first, and then I opened up the StreamYard, and I went to close out of the YouTube so it didn't get the echo. I overzealously clicked, so I closed both windows, so I had to log back in.
Yeah.
You know, you get old and you start doing stupid shit.
Yeah, blue pill can fix that overzealous click.
Yeah.
At 50, it gets rough.
Yeah.
I got 1 more year before I hit that, so I'm in my last year of 40-something. So I see Blue Bike and Doyle's here. My Done Life's here. Pretty good crew already there. We're going to start the questions probably in a few minutes. I don't know if anybody's interested in coming on the panel. Like I said, Toby may or may not be here. It depends on if he can get on or not. He's helping his Harley-Davidson dealership move bikes, I guess. They're going to a new location. So, let's see. I can probably put it up there. I don't know if anybody wants to join in with us for our 5 questions. But I will see. Oop. I can get it to go up there, that is. See what everybody's comments. We already got comments up here. You'll be if you come on, you're going to be the only one that's not prepared, I guess, for the questions. But we have a slow learning curve anyway. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the questions. I don't think I have them handy.
Yeah, they're in the end. I had a picture of them in the chat. All right, is it going to let me? No, wait a minute. I'm going to have to do the. Yeah, it's not letting me.
That's
Cut and paste for some reason. I had to shut down earlier because my camera wasn't working. I came out here like an hour early. I thought it was a big technical issue, and all it was a thing on top that just had to slide over. So nothing huge.
Nice.
Where is it? There we go. All right, whoever the first victim is to come on, I'm going to put that in the chat now. You can be part of the stream today. Like I said, Toby may or may not jump in briefly. I'm going to leave one spot open for a little bit. Motos and Minis is on. Let me see. Let's see who the first person is to volunteer for this mess. And then we'll start the questions as soon as they come on. I'll read slow, too. If you got issues, I'll read really slow. Riding Fish, one of the new Indian motorcycle ambassadors, is on. My idol, even though he started after me.
There's nothing wrong with that. I got a couple of people. I used to be the same number as them. Now they're way up there. And I'm not.
All right, who's the first victim here? We're going to get somebody on now. I keep thinking about. We got Trip and Triker. We're in for some. We're in for a treat here. We got the man himself. Who's the first victim here? We're going to get somebody on now. Trip and Triker.
You hear me?
We got Trip. We got you. We're in for some.
Hey, there we go.
We're in for a treat here. We got.
That's Dave.
Yeah. You got an echo going though.
Mute your YouTube. Hey, there we go.
We're for a treat here. We got.
That's Dave.
You got an echo going though.
Mute your YouTube.
Yep. We can just listen to the same thing all day. Just have it just cycle through. It'll be the whole live stream. Yeah. Just listen to them. There you go.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Testes. We got two.
See if I can hear you.
There you go. Yeah, you're all clear.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see. We got quite a few people following already. Let's see who's in the comments.
Uh-oh.
Got quite a few people.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, you're
Yes,
good
sir.
to go.
Regional
we got
Charlie.
We got 19 people in the comments so far watching. 18, 19. I guess we'll go ahead and start with that. Like I said, if Toby decides he wants to join us, he'll stop by. If not, whatever. But
We can put 10 on there, so whatever.
yeah,
We'll make it happen.
we're good to go. But we got our 5 questions today. We're only doing 5. Last couple live streams, we don't really do 6 anymore. But who knows? We see what we could bring up at the end. The live stream, the chat's usually pretty good. Sometimes better than the whole show. So, yeah. All right, I'm going to start with the questions. We're already late going on the questions. Not that we really got to be anywhere, but I may run out of electricity with all the snow. So, solar panel might be covered up in snow by the time I get done with this. So, first question. Harley-Davidson is rolling out their new 2022 models on January 26. What would you like to see Harley-Davidson do differently or improve on? Of course, we start with Mr. Mustache.
Bad place to start. I'd like to see them drop their price and improve everything except their finish. I mean, honestly, I have a Harley-Davidson because of their service network. I mean, let's just be straight up honest on that. I love the service network, and that's really the only reason I have it. I came from Honda. Harley does an awesome job on their fit and finish. The seating factor, the rider's triangle, we'll say it that way. Hand grips, the levers, all that stuff is incredibly superior to everybody else. But I think they're just a tad slow on the technology. I mean, how long did the LED headlights and LED lights come out before Harley actually did it. I mean, I know why, but that's what I'd like to see them.
How did the hell they do this?
All right, Sinister, your question.
Okay. Oh man, this is crazy.
I would say improve on technology. I'm a big fan of the Revolution Max engine. I like to see it in the option as in the bagger. I don't know. I think that's pretty much it for me. I mean, new improved model, really. I mean, I like the change that they made with, bringing out the Revolution Max engine. They brought out the Pan America. I love that bike. Not a big fan of the Sportster S. It's fun, but it's not something I would buy. But it might be for somebody. But I think that's the move in the right direction, in my opinion. Just like to see if they could keep moving in that direction, just offering different options. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
All right, Throttle Fiend, your question.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with both McStash and Sinister on that. Awesome Metallica shirt, by the way. Sinister. Just drop prices a little bit. I mean, I know that's certain bikes. That's kind of where things are at. I think that anybody who's watched my channel knows that I've said that they need to work on the lower end. We'll get into it later, but I think the Navi is going to be big for Honda, and Harley would be smart to do something similar. Maybe not that small, but same thing. Revolution Max. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love a big V twin. I miss my lowrider S more and more every day. But that being said, I think he was having technical difficulties. I would love to see the Revolution Max as a stressed member in the touring frame. I'd like to see a new touring frame with a monoshock instead of the dual rear shock. I know that's sacrilegious to a lot of people, but after watching too many Harley Death Wobble videos and just knowing how comfortable overall my lower IRS was, I much prefer the single monoshock. I am really happy. I don't know if anybody's seen the quick little blurb that Harley put out about the new Lowrider S. It is coming with the digital gauges on the Sportster S, which to me, it was a big thing. That was one of the main reasons I was considering moving up to a touring bike because I don't like having extra things on for GPS, and I hate using my phone for GPS. I mean, it works, but I'd like to have it integrated into the bike if I can. So like Randy said, Sportster S, I saw it for the first time in real life yesterday. Obviously, it's too cold, snowy, and icy here to ride, but that's what I call stupid money bike. If I had stupid money just lying around, I might pick up one as just like a bomb around town because the way it's set up, I mean, you're not doing any long distances on that thing at all. That's a bar hopper or, kind of I almost liken it to like a Rocket 3. You're not, just from a standpoint of not engine size or anything like that, but just that's just a round town bike. You're not taking that anywhere.
Right.
So, but we'll see what they do. I'm hoping, but we'll see.
Yeah. Like most of you guys said, I always thought Harley had some of the best paint jobs out there. I think the company that really did the best paint jobs was Victory. I don't know if you remember some of the Victory bikes, some of the one-off paint jobs they had.
Yeah.
I mean, I was looking at some old pictures from like 5-6 years ago. There's a guy I used to ride with, had a Victory. I don't remember what it was, but it looked like a custom paint, like he took it to a shop, but it came right from the factory. And they even had the number on the paint, the hand painted, and that was a factory paint job, which I don't see a lot of that. Harley has a couple things with their CVOs and stuff that are pretty nice. Indian hasn't really brought that over with their bikes necessarily. Pretty just solid colors, your matte finishes and your solid finishes. I'm going to do something a little different here, what I think Harley needs to work on. And so far, they really haven't done well with it yet. And unfortunately, it's probably going to be the wave of the future, the electric bike. It's something they've tried a couple times. I think the bike had some good qualities to it. The price was way too high on it, though. I know it's the Harley tax, they tend to run a little higher on some things. I mean, Indian does too, but I think if you're going to come out with something like that to start off with, you might want to start off with something a little bit lower price. You know, you might have to put plastic fenders on it instead of sheet metal fenders. You know, you might have to go a little cheaper in other things. It's kind of like this Chinese bike I got out here. You know, it's so cheap because it's a copy of something else. But it's like, it's all plastic. You might have to do that. I know Harley doesn't want to do that, and Indian doesn't want to do that. But that's my big thing, I guess. Hopefully they can successfully come out with an electric bike. I mean, the technology's already there. You just got to make it cheaper and more accessible.
They're arguing in the comments that they would rather see, and I only bring this up because our viewers are doing. They'd rather see something, like a lower displacement bike out by Harley. And
yeah,
I agree. I think, and it sounds like everybody in the chat agrees that would be a good direction to go. Unfortunately, I'm with CDL on this. They're going to go with the electric bikes. Travis said in the chat earlier, the CVOs will be going to the 124s and up that way.
Yeah,
that's Harley's method. They had the Street Fighter, which I thought they just didn't give it enough time for it to take off. But I see Harley going bigger, not smaller, unfortunately. And going with the higher dollar bike, the electric and all that. Just.
I mean, I'm waiting to see like the 131 is like a standard option on your bike. You know what I mean? Not, let's pay another $6,000 and add it to a bike that's already got a motor. You know, there's people out there buying the custom CVOs and paying more than I paid for my first house. You know, like I don't know. I can't see it. The Sportster S is nice, but like Sinister's video, you listen to the exhaust and it sounds like a sewing machine. I mean, it doesn't. You're making a sporty bike, but it sounds like something Grandma would be riding to church on Sunday. I know they got to meet all the decibels and they got to meet all the whatever emissions crap. But I mean, that's like if I bought that bike, first thing would be gone was that muffler.
Yeah.
And it's smaller. You know what I mean? I'd almost rather go with like something that was shit. You know what I'm talking about? Oh God, I can't think of what it is. The old muscle bike they had. My brain's
FXDR.
Yeah. But anyway, McStash disappeared for a minute. Read some of the comments. Yeah, I mean, the electric bikes are probably good for short distance. They really need to work on the technology to go further.
Yeah.
Before it's hard to take it serious. Like even with some of the cars coming out now, I was looking at some of the electric cars. There's a couple like private companies like Fisker. There's a company Rivian that makes the trucks. Yep. Rivian won like the truck of the year and one of the like car and driver. They're not even on the fucking road yet. How do you win car and driver's truck of the year and they're not even on the road? The Maverick won for North American truck of the year, but at least it was on the road for a while.
Right.
Rivian had been working on that trucks for 5 years. If you ever watched that Long Way Around or whatever, Long Way Up, they were using custom one-off Rivians to follow the guys on their live wires. I'm all for electric. It's just they got to get more range. I don't want to be on a trip and have to stop because my battery's dead. So, yes. All right, we'll go to the next question, I guess. With tax season approaching, do you plan to spend any of your return money on your bike or upcoming rides? Can't hear you.
There we go. Unfortunately, my kids have moved out, so my tax refund is null and void now. But actually, I'm in the middle of a rebuild with Ultra Classy. A lot of you that were from the beginning know about Ultra Classy. I'm in the middle of a rebuild for her. She had a catastrophic breakdown, so it's already spent on that, I guess. So I would have to say yes. I would do that because I honestly believe in keeping a bike. We'll get into that later, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, sinister.
I think
Your
we lost
question?
Mustache.
No, he's still
He's
here.
done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's done.
Oh, okay. I don't have any intention of doing any buying any upgrades because I just did that recently. I have thought about buying a second bike, and that's still an option for me this year. Just waiting to see how things play out. I probably won't get anything brand new. I'm thinking about going down the adventure touring route. Looking at a Triumph Tiger or that KLR looks pretty good, but that's a little too new. If I go down the adventure touring route, I'd rather get something used because I know I'm going to drop the damn thing. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. So I'm just kind of holding off, and I probably won't spend it right just yet, and just kind of do some research. But I think I'm pretty much done upgrading my bike. Unless something just blows my mind and there's something that comes out that I really need. But I think that's kind of where I'm at right now. I was thinking about a second bike.
All right, I got a couple guys wanting to come back on. I got Truck and Biker and Trip and Traker's trying to come back on. All right, we got 6. There we go. How's it going?
What's going on?
Throttle Fiend's question. I don't know if you guys heard the question, but with tax season approaching, do you plan to spend any return money on your bike or upcoming rides? We're at Throttle Fiend right now.
I don't think I'm going to be getting much, if anything. Just like Jason said, my kids are old enough that I can't claim them, but they still live here. That being said, I do definitely plan on making some trips this year. Just on what bike or how it will get there is a different story. Like Randy, I'm also thinking about Metric Cruiser. I made no bones that I think that KTM Adventure 390 is a great bike for the price. That might be my in-between. For those that watch my video know that I'm kind of in a holding pattern as for my next big boy bike. But we'll see how things go. We've got the Navi, obviously, which we'll get into a little bit when we get to that question. And, we'll see what happens. But either way, I'm going to be on twos no matter what it is. I don't care if I got to fucking go out and buy a bicycle and slap a lawnmower engine on it. I'm riding.
I tell you, I get a lot of ads for electric bikes. I mean, they're all like in-town bikes, but they're just constantly like Facebook and Instagram's always pushing them. I don't have a problem with them short distance, but you're not going to travel on it.
I'm worried about those. I mean, especially as somebody, it's still very fresh in my mind with the wreck and all that. I actually think those things are much more dangerous than motorcycles because for some of those higher end ones, the ones that are like $1,000 plus, they'll do 30, 40 miles an hour. I was going 35 when I had my accident. And you don't have to have a full face helmet or any other gear on those things. You wear the freaking clamshell that's made of ABS plastic with styrofoam freaking padding. So, you get an accident one of those, you're donezo. So they're definitely definitely better than pedaling in some senses, but the cost and safety concerns bother me too much to look into them too much.
Yeah, but for what some of those electric bicycles cost, you can get like a nice little beater bike.
Exactly. That's the other part of it too.
Yeah.
That's the other part of it too.
I work with a guy at my second job. He had an electric bike and actually got hit riding that to work. And so he tried, once he got healthy enough, he was trying to get another one. He actually had a DWI, so he lost his license to drive. I mean, technically, I don't think you're still supposed to ride an electric bicycle with a DWI, but, whatever. Cop's probably not going to bother you so much.
I think the electric bicycles still fall under the normal bicycle laws. I don't think they fall under, like, the motorcycle or scooter laws. Out some states, you don't even have to have a motorcycle endorsement to ride scooters.
Exactly,
like bicycles.
Yeah, that's how it is in New York. And then Fortnite did a video on electric bikes a while back, and he's in Canada, which obviously isn't America, but he said the same thing. There's the same rules as regular bicycles.
Yeah, and some of those things will do 30 plus miles an hour.
Well, I'll tell you, go ahead. Yeah, the guy I work with had gotten a DWI, so he was riding one of those electric bikes. He had like a 2-mile ride to work. He got hit on that, and I guess he had ordered the parts to fix that, which he's been waiting a year for the parts. And then he ordered another one in the meantime. And I guess this other electric bike he bought does 70 miles an hour. And I'm like, holy shit, man. I don't know how much you paid for that. Like he said, you could go out and buy probably a used Sportster for $5,000.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Or three.
Oh, easy.
There's, old 80s Honda for like 2,000 off Facebook or something,
It depends right now. I mean, like I was looking, I'm building a motorcycle right now, and I got it for next to nothing because it's in pieces. But,
yeah.
I mean, my wife's bike, I bought it a year ago, and it was $1,000. And I looked up the same bike now is like $2,000.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, like it's gonna, and it's a little 125.
Yeah.
And people are wanting $2,000 for those.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I took my motorcycle class on a 125 Kawasaki. Boy, that was a pain in the ass.
That's what she has.
Yeah, I was on that bike like this, like my knees were at the handlebars and shit.
I actually
it's
find
like
hers to be more comfortable than some of the other 125s I've sat on. Oh, you got on like one of the little Kawasaki, the Z125?
Yeah.
Hers is the Eliminator 125. It's actually like a full size motorcycle. I'd say it's about the size of a Sportster.
Yeah. I had been riding for like 7 years before I got in an accident. I said, all right, and now I need to go get my license and learn what the hell I'm doing, Well, I got on this bike and it was a carbureted bike. They had the throttle not adjusted right. Like I'm sitting there in the line with everybody, and I'm reaching down and I'm turning the idle up on this bike. I'm letting off the clutch, and then it grabbed. It's a piece of shit bike that they had for everybody to learn on and dump over. And
when I took my endorsement, so many bikes died just sitting waiting to get on the range the first day. I was like, they kept switching people around motorcycles, and I was the only one in the class that had experience riding. And I ended up having to take mine on a KX 125.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've had to sit on a dirt bike for 2 fucking days straight, but I have never been raw in those places in my life.
I work at a community college, and they do the motorcycle testing there on my campus. And Harley donated all the bikes, so they have all street 750s. I'm like, damn, I wish I would have taken that class.
I've actually, when my wife was talking about, she gets used to riding this bike if she'll ever ride the damn thing. She likes the streets. And I was like, all right, I'll go on and see if those streets are more expensive than Sportsters are in my area right now.
Yeah. And everything used is through the roof.
It's ridiculous.
Whether it's private sale or at the dealerships, it's just it's sick. Yeah. It's sick.
Hell, and not just the bikes, but parts. Finding parts. I've got a 1980 Suzuki GS450, and a rotted out tank is like $150.
Yep.
And it's like, what the hell?
I have a GS450 automatic, 83, that I've had for 12 years. It was my first bike, and their gas tank's completely different on that bike compared to all the other 450s. I mean, Suzuki used to make like 5 or 6 different versions of the 450, and then of course you had the 550, 650, 7. Back when we can make as many different as we want.
Mm-hmm. And the fucked up thing is every one of them has a different tank, because the 450 works like a dirt bike. The fuel pump is the petcock. It's just a gravity-fed fuel pump, but the 550 has an electric fuel pump to it, so the petcock is different.
Yep. But I end up getting a tank from a different 450, because forget trying to find one for an automatic, because the automatic was different than all the other models.
The Honda-matic transmission.
Yeah, it's automatic. It's Suzuki though. They only had the 450. They didn't do a 750. Yeah. But that bike was always a good bike. It never ran right, so I tore it apart, and most of it was just carb crap. But then I haven't gotten around to put it back together. So, where were we? The questions. We'll go to question number 3. If you had a major issue with your motorcycle and you could afford to fix it either way, would you fix it or trade it in for something newer? Mr. McStash.
Honestly, to me, that one depends on the bike. That's a tough question. It depends on the bike and probably what happened.
Yeah.
had I not just done a stage 4 on Ultra Classy when it broke the primary chain and bent the flywheels, I probably wouldn't have done the repair because it's not a cheap repair. We'll just say it that way. But at this point, now you're talking about a new engine, top and bottom half.
Yeah.
I get somebody go through the transmission and the clutch. I should be, set for a long period of time. So, yeah, I've bought the bike twice now, but
Yeah.
hopefully we're starting with, and I have said that before. If you actually look at taking a bike to somebody and having it rebuilt, even if you go new engine, new transmission, new clutch, the whole 9 yards, paint it, you can still be in just under the price of a new bike. Now you won't get the warranty, but you can be in the price just under a new bike, especially with the way sales are right now. And I've often wondered why people didn't do that. And I think what it is, I'm finding out, is the access to the people who have the ability to do that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's so. On that one, I think it depends on the bike, where you're at in the bike. Certain bikes everybody knows they ride better than other bikes. So on this one, I have to say yes because I'm doing it.
All right, Sinister, your question.
I feel the same way. It depends on where you're at with the bike. If it's something sentimental to you, obviously you want to fix it. I think in most cases I probably would want to fix it just because I'm a cheap bastard. If there's that, if I can save money by fixing it versus like going and buying something brand new, I'll do it. Especially, if it's something I rode for a long time, got a lot of memories on, and just want to ride it till the wheels fall off, and that's just me. But again, it goes back to the price factor, especially with the way things are now. That can, change my mind really quick because I'm always going to lean on the side of my wallet.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much my thoughts on it.
Right. Throttle feed.
Just like the previous two gentlemen, it really depends on the bike. Like, for example, my Iron 883, I had that for almost 2 years and traded it in on my Lowrider S. I do not miss that bike one bit. Yes, it was my first bike that I learned to ride on. But I don't miss it. My Lowrider S, that was going to be my forever bike. I mean, I definitely wanted to get into a touring bike or something at some point, but I wanted to hold on to that bike forever. I love that bike more than life itself. And when I had the wreck, I mean, the only reason I'm glad Geico totaled it out, but the problem is with something like that. I mean, like in Jason's case, okay, catastrophic failure, and the engine sucks, but structurally it's still a good bike. There was a lot of things with the Lowrider S that I wasn't sure. There's a lot of shit when you're in a wreck. There's a lot of stuff that you don't know until after the fact, and I didn't want to have to run the risk of trying to find out after the fact. But yeah. Especially like everybody said, I mean, obviously different universe, no COVID crap like that. Prices still staying somewhat reasonable, whatever. But with the way things are now, yeah, hell no. That I fix it myself if I can.
Yeah. All right, truck and biker, your question.
I'm actually kind of looking at that at the moment. I've got my bike's got the 88 cubic inch, and it's got the chain guides for the timing chain. Are the notorious ones that chain tensioners are the ones that notoriously explode and grenade the engine. And it's like I'm pushing 12,000 miles on it now, and it's starting to get up there to where you got to start worrying about that. And it's like, do I fix it? And which is something I would do myself, or do I just go ahead and trade the bike in and get something else? And I'm actually leaning towards trading it in. I'm 40. It's a Dyna Wide Glide. I love the bike. Absolutely love the bike, but after about 250 miles, it really, really starts to wear on you. And
it's time to grow up.
And get something that's more comfortable. Exactly. Get something that I can, put a couple hundred miles on and get off of it and still have the will to get back on it and ride it again. The last time I did like 300 miles on this bike, I got off and I didn't touch it for 2 damn days. I was so pissed off with this bike. I was like, nope.
I lean on the nostalgia side. I guess if I can afford to fix it, I'm going to fix it. I don't see me ever getting rid of my Scout 60, but same thing as, like I said, I still got my 83 Suzuki. That was my first bike. You know, I had a Kawasaki Vulcan 900. I learned how to shift on that bike because I started off with 2 automatic bikes. So that bike was still pretty good. I had 40,000 miles on it, but like you said, I'd get off at 200 miles. I'd come home, lay on the floor for about half an hour because my back was killing me. You know,
Yeah.
My Scout 60 is not really that much bigger of a bike, but there was enough parts and aftermarket so I can make it. You know, I've done 550 miles on this in a day and not been sore.
Oh, yes.
So, my thought is if something happens to the engine with this bike, it's just an excuse to get a big bore kit for it.
Yeah.
I mean, if something does happen to the motor.
With that Indian, it might be cheaper in the long run if something happened to the motor to just buy the 90 and slap it in there.
Yeah.
And save yourself the absolute headache of pulling that motor apart.
Yeah.
And that was also the Indian, the motor's part of the frame.
Yep.
So,
yeah, you just take the 2 top pieces off. They just unbolt.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, for that, it'd be easier just to pull the damn motor and stick a new one in it. And it
Oh,
costs
yeah.
you the same amount of money as a bore kit would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I was going to talk to you and see what you thought about that. Did you want to just do it for the people there? Did
Get
you
somebody on the phone somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say whose wife is on the phone.
All right. We'll go to question number 4. When doing your own maintenance on your motorcycle, is there something you won't do yourself?
I think it depends on how deep you're getting into it. Like Truck and Biker said, he's coming into the spot where it's time to do the cam chain tensioners. You know, if you're going to do a big bore kit, that's the time to do it. You got to be right in that same spot. You know, you're in that far to begin with, so why not do it all the way? Or, you know, if you're worried about an engine imploding or doing rapid parts distribution, then yeah, get another engine. I mean, when I first bought Ultra Classy, it had 20,000 miles on it. It was 150 miles or 125 miles to the house. 100 miles, it dropped oil pressure and had a failure of the oil pump. So it had a brand new engine put on it at that point, and that was only a $6,000 bill. I didn't pay it, fortunately. Yeah, that was only a $6,000 bill. So as far as doing it myself, changing an engine is not that hard. If you have the time and the place is more, you can buy the book. You can buy the tools at Harbor Freight for no more than what you're going to be using them. But yeah, I would have to say, if you think you're over your head, let somebody else do it.
Yeah. Okay, Sinister.
For me, it'd probably be engine work, just mainly because I've never had any experience, you know, messing with the engines. But at the same time, I didn't have experience in changing my front end suspension, but I did it anyway. You know, I haven't had experience with electrical work, but I did it anyway. So it depends on the situation. I always imagine using the bike I have now as kind of like a way to teach myself one day, because I'm going to ride that bike. Without a shadow of a doubt, I'm going to put over 100,000 miles on that bike. And that might be the point where I'm like, maybe I'll just start using this bike as like, you know, learning how the engine works, take it apart or something, you know. But it's definitely something that I'm not afraid to do. But as a primary bike, I'd probably be a little hesitant because I could see myself doing something wrong and I got a big trip planned and I'm like, I can't go. And I don't want to be in that situation, you know. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for me. And just, you know, concerned about messing with that engine. But I would definitely take it to somebody to help me out or ask questions.
Yeah. Okay, Throttle Fiend, your question.
Like others have said, for me, the big thing is lack of space and proper tool. I mean, I got my good friend Jay Sutliff down in Syracuse, which is about an hour and 15 minutes away and whatnot. But, you know, I mean, obviously if something catastrophic happens, it'd have to get towed or something like that. But Probably engine work, but I mean, I've long said that I'd like to get a hold of a cheap Sportster, just to kind of tool on and teach myself a little bit. I have the manual for the Lowrider S, and I was planning on doing some of my own work. Unfortunately, didn't get to that point. Didn't have the bike long enough to really get too much into it.
Yep. Truck and biker, your question.
Man, I do all my own maintenance. My bike's never been to a shop. I'm even getting to the point now where I'm gonna buy the stuff, start doing my own tires.
Nice.
I'd love to do that.
Just tired of paying. I found a good shop near me that didn't rape the hell out of me. I got a Michelin Commander 3. Total bill came in under $400 for my back tire.
Mhm.
So I took that as a win. But at the same token, I could have saved myself $80 for the install.
Yeah.
And just bought the tire outright and done it myself. And it's not that difficult to balance a tire. You can buy a tire balancer kit from Harbor Freight and stuff like that. And it's just a mechanical, you put the tire on, or put the wheel on the spindle and give it a spin, and wherever it settles, that's the heavy side. Put a weight on the opposite side. And then when it will just spin without wanting to stutter, balanced. It's not that difficult of a job. It's just a matter of getting the weights right. Just trial and error, just time consuming.
Yeah.
But it's motorcycles. They're fucking time consuming.
They are.
Anybody that's ever done a 3-hole oil change on their own Harley.
Yep. Done that.
That's your whole fucking morning is shot.
And that's an important part to say too. I mean, depending on what's going on, I mean, I've always been the type to try and do things myself if I can, but at the same time, I have to weigh that cost time benefit, because time is one thing you can't get back. So depending on, if you know somebody or your local dealership is decent enough with price and all that, you might say, okay, all right, well, it's going to take me this long, but I got stuff to do. And that's the other reason I forgot to mention this about the whole working on my own bike. I never want to leave myself without something to ride. So that's why I'd like to have a second, a cheap Sportster or something that I can mess around on. And if I fuck it up, I still have something to ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like one of the great things, like, having the manual and stuff. The manual has saved my life on this Suzuki so many times. But as far as like modern engines and shit go, you can go on YouTube. I mean, if you ride a Harley, all you got to do is look up that motor. It doesn't have to be your bike. It just needs to be that motor. And it'll show you how to do everything. I mean, getting to it will be different depending on whether you ride a bagger or you ride, a Softail or something like that. But it's same damn motor, just in a different frame.
Yep. Yeah, my biggest issue is just I don't have the room. I only hang on. You have a visitor.
Oh, I got to empty half my garage to work on something.
There we go.
There you go.
Hey, Toby.
How's the weather?
She loved that.
Somebody's sleeping on the couch tonight.
After that one.
We got our man on location at the Harley dealership. Which one are you at, the new one or the old one?
The new one. We took a 6-mile ride from the old one to the new one, and now I can't really show it. I don't know how this thing's going to work, but see, they're moving them in from where we parked them now.
Ah. How many,
they're all behind me. We pulled them all back in here, and now the staff are moving them inside the building.
How many have you ridden so far?
I just had the one. I rode a Sport Glide, but there were 136 bikes, and I think we were 9 short of filling up every seat.
Wow.
They
should have turned it into a ride or something.
No, we were joking on the way. They bussed us all over from this old. We came over here, registered, and then they bussed us over to the old place. And we were all joking on the bus ride. They probably only put, a quarter tank of gas in there or something, just enough to get you to get over here. So nobody got crazy ideas to take off somewhere. I mean, the whole thing was police escorted the whole way. So
yeah. So now can they sell all of those as used bikes? They're no longer new bikes since they got miles on them?
They got 6 miles on them.
No, there's a combination. There's some of them are used bikes. Some are the 2021s. From what I understand, most of the 2022s were either already shipped over here or they trailered them over here, something to that effect. So
they already got some.
There's some upstairs. Yeah, we've been walking around the whole place, and I'll have a video coming out on that. But they got the whole play upstairs. They got a second story now, and it's got like all the bikes to be worked on, or the ones that have already been sold, that kind of thing. So, but it's good stuff. It's a huge place compared to their old place.
Yeah. Did they have any of the new ones that are supposed to be announced on the 26th?
Say again?
Do they have any of the new ones that they're supposed to announce on the 26th?
No, just the stuff that they've already shown on the website.
Wow. I was hoping maybe we can get a preview ahead of time before everybody gets to see it.
That might actually, I ain't making no promises. I might try to do that because they are actually going to do a grand reopening, if you will, of this place on the 26th. So,
wow.
Interesting how that timing worked out.
Yeah.
Well, hey, one question, if you can answer it, Toby. Are they releasing any any touring bikes with the Revolution Max in it?
Not that I'm seeing over here. They got the big Americans around here. They don't have any. What are they called? Navies. They don't have any of those here.
Hey now.
But yeah, that's about it, guys. I'm glad I could check in and say hello. Sorry I couldn't be here for the whole thing.
That's all right.
Hey, thanks for showing up.
I think I would have canceled if I had the opportunity to do what you're doing.
I couldn't pass this up, and thanks for the patience on it, because we drove up, got the invite from we got some good friends here, so we got the invite from Lisa from here, and she's an awesome salesperson. But when they told us what was going on, we're like, yeah, I can't beat this. Police escort, riding bikes from old place to new place. How many times does the dealership move and ask you to do something like that? So,
right, yeah, my dealership doesn't even know my name, and I've left spam cards on all their shit too. Every time I go back, it's all gone.
But I'm gonna let you guys go. Get back to what you're doing. Thank you for letting me get on here real quick. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
later, Toby.
Thanks
to you, brother.
Y'all ride safe.
Yep. That's a nice thing he got to do today.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's crazy though. They had 139 bikes or something like that to move, and 130 people showed up. What did he say? Something like that.
Yeah. 109 bikes. 9 people sure filling all the seats. It's a hell of a turnout.
Yeah. Let's say I haven't been on a ride like that many people in years. Damn.
They must have been giving away food.
Yeah. Yeah, hell with the bikes. I just want barbecue.
Right? Especially with police escort that big.
Yeah.
DC's the last time I done something that big with police escort.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the accordion effect that would go on with 130 damn riders. So
Yeah.
that whole ride
with the police escort, it shouldn't have been as bad because they should have had a steady run. But
the last police escort ride I went on, they were still having cars trying. I live in friggin' Houston. People up here don't even see the cop until they hit it.
Jesus.
So
I'm gonna say you're in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish he could have showed us some of the new bikes. That would have been nice. See it here first before Harley introduces it. I'd probably get a letter in the mail telling me to take the video down.
Yeah, but Harley, they don't send any of the ones they don't want you to see to the dealerships until after the release videos.
Yeah.
So they got to keep that new color under lock and key.
Yeah. That's what it's going to be too. It'll be like, all new model with pink colored paint with purple lettering.
Yeah.
Just in time for Easter.
I love how Harley it's like, everybody was all up about that new Sportster when it came out last year. And when they did the teaser pictures of it, I went, that's the custom they've been advertising for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what it was. They just changed the name to Sportster S. And it's like, You've already showed us pictures of it, and you just changed the name.
I wonder why they didn't come out with the Bronx. Does anybody know
What's that?
why the Bronx never came out?
If I
Are they
had to
having
guess,
issues with it?
if I had to guess, knowing Harley, I think that they, with economies of scale, their price was going to be too high to make it competitive with the metric bikes.
Yeah.
Harley's
It was
prices are too high to
offensive
be
to the
competitive
people.
with any.
It was offensive to the people of New York, so they had to change
Yeah.
it.
Can you offend the people of the Bronx though? Like,
That's a good question. It doesn't matter. It matters that people say they were offended by it. That's what matters.
no, the problem is it offended people in California who were offended for the people in the Bronx.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if it actually bothers the person that it bothers or not.
The teaser pictures for that Bronx, I was like, hey, that's a badass looking bike.
Yeah.
It looked a lot better than the Buells did. Like,
yeah.
And I mean, Buells were ugly ass bikes. They were fast as hell, but they were ugly ass bikes.
Yeah.
Did you ever notice that some things look really good in a picture but terrible in real life, and vice versa?
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, I'm way uglier in real life.
Yeah, it's not the camera adding 10 pounds. I did it myself.
Okay.
Yeah, the camera only adds 10 pounds, but I added 50.
That's every company. Every company that comes out, man. Anytime Indian has a new bike coming out and they put out the teaser pictures, or Honda, the bikes never look like they're going to. But I mean, the same thing goes with cars and shit. I mean, I worked for Dodge just before the Challenge or the Charger came out, and they were showing it as a 4-door, but the back 2 doors were half doors, and the hands were, or the grips were shaved off of it. They were electric pop only back doors. Looked amazing. And then it came out as a Chrysler 300 with a different grille.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's just, you can't ever expect you're going to get what the picture shows. I think it's even more with motorcycles than it is anything else.
So let me talk to him about that.
Yeah, I don't know how much you can actually change on a motorcycle at this point in time. I mean, bigger, faster, more price. Yeah.
Air conditioning. That would be amazing to have in Texas.
It might be, but I don't know for sure.
Doesn't the Goldwing have heat on it?
No.
Goldwing with
I thought the old ones had like an air defroster.
There were some panels that you could flip, and it would just direct some of the engine heat back to you. It wasn't really
Goldwing with an airbag.
Right?
Oh, they all have airbags. The Honda Goldwings, they have airbags. They're air ride.
Did they?
Okay. Even the old '80s ones had air ride.
Okay.
Had a little button you could adjust it. I would love to build a bobber out of one and leave the air ride on it.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
go. That way you could have a bobber that's actually comfortable to ride.
Yeah. Right. They don't have the airbags for when you get in an accident.
They make the jacket that does that. That's the scariest looking thing I've ever seen.
They should have the Jiffy Pop airbag, like in that Saturday Night Live skit where the popcorn comes out. And then you just sit there and eat popcorn while you wait for the EMTs to come.
Yeah,
that's it.
That would be awesome.
I would crash just to eat.
Sorry, guys, that was my wife in the background talking. We're planning a ride, but you wouldn't want to know nothing about that.
Yeah. We're on question number 5. Is there an upgrade you have done to your bike yourself that you will never forget? And was it the most difficult install? Kind of a 2-part question, I guess.
I'm a mechanic daily, so I'm throwing wrenches all the time. The one upgrade, I guess you'll call it, I regret is, and I think I've touched on this before, I did one of those organizer bags in your lid that you put all the stuff in.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. I do. It's awesome. The problem I have with it is a fellow motovlogger did a review on it and talked about how great it was, but did not give the bad points. It holds in the lid with snaps on the bolts that hold your luggage rack. So that's awesome. It still comes with the Velcro, but don't put the Velcro on there because when it gets hot, the Velcro then no longer attaches and you got all that goo in there and it gets, you just tell me the truth. Say, hey, it's a great bag, but I'm going to suggest not doing this because you get heat in it.
Right.
Just, I don't know. I'll stop right now because that'll get me fired up. And if you're going to review something, give the bads too. I don't care.
Pros and cons.
Yeah.
They got to be able to take it if they're going to give you something to review.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel about it. But
All right, Sinister, your question.
The most difficult, I actually have 2 installs I could talk about, but I'm only going to choose one of them. But it would probably be installing my heated grips just because it was so time consuming. And I basically got my bike down to like a skeleton of itself where I had to take off the tank and everything and take out the boombox audio in my Street Glide to get to everything. And the one thing I found out about it is some of the heated grips that Harley produces, they have a different way to power those grips. So some you have to run a power cable underneath the seat and underneath the tank. So that column on the frame there where you have all the wiring, I had to go underneath there. But there are some heated grips that you could actually connect directly to an auxiliary port that's in front of the fairing there, over to, if you're in front of it, it's over to the right. But my particular ones, which were the Willie G's, it had an external power source instead of going internal into the handlebars. I didn't know that, but food for thought if anybody didn't know that. So there, and you don't really know which ones they are. You just kind of have to, okay, if you pick what you want, okay, does it have an external or internal power source? Well, mine was external, so it makes the job a lot more difficult. I don't know why they did it that way, but it is what it is. It might be better now with newer models. I don't know. Yeah. I just recently put bars on my bike, and I had to go through that process, and I went back and see if they actually changed how they designed them. No, they haven't, and those Willie G's still go on the external power source. But that was probably the most difficult install I've done, just because there was so many things I had to take off and so many bolts that I'm very tedious with anything I do. And I put stuff in Ziploc bags and label it just because, I've never done this before, and I'm not going to put everything back together and find that I have 2 bolts that are still laying there. You know what I mean? I don't want to and be like, okay, where did this go? And then I'm like, figure out where it went.
Speed reduction.
Yeah. Well, it might take somebody 4 hours, but it might take me 2 days. But hey, whatever, it gets done. It saves a shitload of money. So, but yeah, I would say that the heated grips for me has been the most difficult.
Yeah. All right, Throttle Fiend, your question.
I didn't really do too much, but I would definitely say the absolute most worst, however you want to say it, upgrade was the quad lock phone mount. It's crap. It ruined my iPhone. I was lucky enough it was still under warranty, so I was able to get a replacement. But I've since gone with a rock form and been happy with that. But nothing big. But yeah, that just if you've got a big bike with a big V twin, people don't buy a quad lock. It's not worth it.
All right, Truck and Biker, your question.
Mine was the wind fairing. I fell victim to the Amazon advertisement. Made the same as Crater. And I was like, well, hell, Crater's $500 for the sports style or for the club style wind fairing. I'll just get the Amazon one for $80 and call it good. And the install was an absolute pain in the ass. It came with no instructions. None. I had to take the damn thing apart 3 times because I'd put something on backwards or upside down or whatever. And then we go to mount it back on the bike, and the cutout for the headlight was too small. It was made for a bullet headlight, and I've got the big Harley headlamp. And it wouldn't fit. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So we're sitting there, we're trying to figure out what do we do? You know, we angled the headlight, but then it was shining at the front tire, and I'm like, that's not safe. So I broke out a Sawzall and cut the hole bigger. And I had to put it on, see if it fit, take it off, cut it, make it bigger, put it back on. And you can't tell looking at it from the front, but when you're sitting on the bike, you can see just the jagged.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that was as far as pain in the ass installs go, that one was horrible. And then I was talking to a guy at Harley. He's like, well, did you upgrade your handlebar bushings afterwards? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, if you put a club style fairing on it, you have to upgrade it to the polyurethane, not the rubber.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that, and I still haven't upgraded it. So like every 3 months, I got to tighten my handlebars down.
Yeah. I just did put bars on my bike, and I got lucky, and I found that somewhere. I don't remember where I was reading, but I got the polyurethane. But yeah, it's worth it, as you know.
I need to upgrade mine to the polyurethane anyway, just because I don't know if any of you guys have ever ridden a Dyna and how violently they shake sitting at a red light. But anything to take this out of my hands at every red light. My brother, he rides a sport bike, and he laughs at me every time we ride together. He's like, that thing looks like it's just going to walk off down the road by itself.
For me, the hardest install, and it's still probably one of my favorite installs, is the cruise control. That was, I did most of it in one day. Something was wrong with the install because it has the electronic throttle. I couldn't use my throttle after I installed it. And I was like, well, shit, I'd been out there all day. You pull apart wire harness, plug in something new to the old factory wire harness, add the new wire, and it was a lot of, well, get this green wire, then you got a green wire with a white stripe next to it, and then you got, okay, switch these out, put them in the new harness, switch this to the old harness. I mean, the instructions that came with it, the book was like about as big as a Bible. And it's like, this wire pulls out here, this wire plugs in, then you plug this wire into that. And it was like all day I was doing that, and then I couldn't figure out why. I could start my bike up just fine. I could move the bike, when the idle was still high, I could ride it into the shed because the idle was still high enough for me, it was warming up. But the throttle, you twist the throttle, nothing would happen. It was 2 green wires. I had to do this in the harness. But I had been outside that whole day trying to figure it out, and I'm like, what the hell? All these wires, all pulled this apart, plug that in, pull that apart, plug this in, and then to stuff it all in behind the headlight afterwards. And I'm like, why the hell is this not working? The bike started up fine. I had the check engine light, and then the throttle wasn't working. And that ended up being something simple as the 2 wires just had to be switched around in the one harness I took apart. But it was like, it was giving me a headache because there's like wire for the throttle. You had a wire for the clutch. And then all the wires that go to the engine. There's wires that sense with the brakes because the cruise control shuts off with either brake, shuts off with the clutch, and then afterwards you program the whole thing because there's 4 buttons on there. You got to program them. That part actually went pretty easy. It was just 2 wires I screwed up, but it was one of those things you worked on it, and it was like, all right, my brain is fried from screwing with wiring for the whole day. And nobody had an install video. I was the first person to do an install video on the Scout for that. The company had a video, and they were just showing the functionality of it. And nobody had a Scout cruise control video out. And then 2 months later, I think Riding Dad or somebody else did it, and you got like thousands of views. I'm like, okay, cool. I got a couple hundred views on it right away, and a bunch of thumbs down. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then Riding Dad did it like 2 months later and got like thousands of views. I'm like, all right. But that's how it is.
I'm just glad you got it figured out because I remember that was close to VAM, and we were like, I don't know if I'm going to VAM. I'm like, you're going to VAM.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out, and then something else happened with my something else happened where something stripped out, and I couldn't figure out what the fuck was going on with it. I was like, that's why I never end up doing my front suspension, because I was going to do all three things in that weekend. And I'm like, I got the other stuff figured out. And I'm like, no, my suspension is still sitting over in the corner. I'm like, I'll do it this year because I had the other bike to ride. But like I said, it's too cold for me. I got to do that outdoors. There's not enough room in the shed to do it, because I got to have room to pull the whole front wheel off and everything. But I don't think that's going to be that bad of a job. The biggest thing is I can't figure out how much fluid goes in the forks. Like, I've tried looking at somebody else doing the video, and they said, well, you just fill it till it gets certain height. And I'm like, yeah, what is that? You know, you don't want to put too much oil in there, because then you'll blow the seals.
You don't have the manual on that?
Nope. They don't tell you. Even in the Progressive gave you the instructions to do the springs. They don't tell you how much fluid goes in there.
Really?
I've got 3 bottles of fluid just in case I screw it up. I can do it a couple times, but like I'm putting new seals and everything, and I don't want to blow the seals.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And the 60 has a different front end from the regular Scout.
Does
the regular Scout
telling you how much just the stock is supposed to take? I mean, if you're just changing the inside springs, it shouldn't change the amount of fluid that goes in.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look for like a maintenance book. I never bought one for this. I just have the owner's manual.
Call Progressive.
Yeah.
No, either call Progressive or just ask your local Indian dealership.
Yeah. I definitely got to do it. You're supposed to change the fluid at like 12,000 miles on this, and I have 36,000. Front end's getting a little soft.
I don't think anybody changes the fork oil when they're supposed to.
But yeah, I can tell it's getting a little soft now on the front end, so I definitely want to get it done this year. As soon as I can do it in the driveway, because I got to do everything in the driveway. So
yeah.
But yeah, that cruise control, that's my favorite thing I added to the bike. I wish I would have done it like 2 years ago. Especially riding out the Sturgis. That was
I'm still
nice.
old school. I like a good cable throttle. I don't trust the fly-by-wire stuff. It's just, for me, the more electronics on a bike, it's just more to go wrong.
Yeah.
And I still stick with the old. That's one of the reasons I haven't gone to even looked at a Milwaukee 8 bike or anything like that, because I don't want the throttle by wire. I like what even the 103s and stuff like that were, or fly by wire. And I like throttle cables. And it's just, I'm old school when it comes to that stuff. Hell, I still like carburetors better than fuel injection.
Yeah.
Well, the great thing about a carburetor is if you wanted put a bigger air cleaner and you want to do a stage 1 on your bike, you don't have to reprogram a computer. You just change the needles in your needles and jets in your carburetor. Mm-hmm. Call it good. You don't have to pay $500 for just a tune.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. I know that's all the questions we have. I don't know if anybody else has got anything going on they want to bring up. We still got 22 people watching. There really hasn't been any porn questions or anything in the side chat today.
I haven't even paid attention to the side chat. The last time I was on here, I had me freaking rolling.
Well,
that's because I haven't seen Ozark in a while.
Right. Yeah. I will say, for those that didn't watch my video, I am actually Kristen Motopink Sensei, aka Mrs. Fiend, is the owner of a new bike. Yesterday, we purchased a 2022 Honda Navi. She wants to learn to ride. I think it's a great bike. Stupid cheap. I mean, it's like $1,800, obviously plus tax tag and all the New York State fees that they get us for. But we pay cash. It's going to stay at the dealership for a bit because like CDL here, we've got like massive snow and all that shit. So it's going to stay there until spring. We'll pick it up. She's going to ride it. I'm going to ride it a little bit, kind of get my feet wet again. And then, like I said in the video, everything is dependent on the whole insurance settlement situation. I'd give anything to go back and have my lowrider S again, but is what it is. So we'll see what happens in the meantime. Like I said, I'm looking, maybe to potentially pick up a used bike or, that KTM Adventure 390, at least just for tooling around. We definitely will be traveling this year. I don't care if we have to freaking rent the freaking U-Haul trailer, put the Navi on that, and and do that. We will be coming to VAM this year. Nothing else planned just yet. We're gonna wait and see what everybody else has got going on. I know there's been talk. McStash has mentioned stuff about some rides, touch up near Niagara Falls or in his area. We definitely will be down for that. Just gonna be depending on what we're gonna be on. So, but just really, really, really thankful for all the love and support everybody's shown us. Like I said, on my Instagram posts, through all this the last 7 months, I've only lost 10 subscribers. I don't deserve to have kept any of you. So those of you that have stuck around and all that, I really appreciate it. And I will endeavor to do everything in my power to make it up to each and every one of you.
10 subscribers. That's just YouTube fucking kicking your subscribers off.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So
I'll drop 15 in a week, and then it'll be back up 20 the next, and then drop down 5, and then I'll gain 2 back, and it's just like
right.
Now, for the longest time, me and McStash have been going back and forth on who can subscribe to who the most.
Yeah, at least once a week I subscribe to Sea Trucking Bikers channel.
Yeah, I got to do the same thing to McStash. It's like every time I subscribe and I click off his page, YouTube unsubscribes me. Actually,
Throttle Fiend, there will be some more information on that. I'm going back to me and the wife when we first started doing the long rides. It was all about meeting other people. So we're going back to that. We're going to start planning rides once a month. If anybody shows up, great. If they don't, we're riding anyways. But we got stuff going on in PA this year, one in Virginia. So keep your eye open for that. We're gonna put out some pretty good rides that way.
Yeah. I like what we did with Bubba last year too. That was kind of nice. Just we never rode together. We just all, I rode maybe 400 miles that day. Bubba came in from town from Indiana. We just all kind of met in a central place because, one day meet up, have lunch and bullshit,
And that's what we're planning is basically, a weekend ride. And we'll be in this area. If you're in this area, can get to this area, come on out and we'll eat, maybe ride, maybe whatever. But
yeah, I still got to get down to the 555. I was just watching Boots and Jeans, their video from that yesterday. And I'm like, they live out in California and they've done the 555. I'm 2 hours away and I still haven't done it. So,
right.
I need to get down there. It's one of those things where I'd like to spend the night down there because I could go down there and ride it one day. But I mean, it's like I'd have to rush through it and then hurry up and get home. I want to go down and stay, find something good to eat.
I only live like 2.5 hours from Twisted Sisters, and I still haven't been out to ride that yet.
Yeah.
It's just one of those. I hate Austin.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, why haven't you gone? I'm like, you ever been to Austin? It's a shithole. I don't want to go.
Yeah. There's so many places I want to go. It's just trying to find time to do it.
Yeah.
So at least I've got 2 little trips planned out this year. So I need to find a longer one. But
you can go with us in September.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be able to take 10 days off from both jobs.
That would kind of be rough trying to schedule two different jobs.
Yeah.
We usually go in at the beginning of the year and just give them a list. These are our days off. Don't schedule me because we're not going to be here.
I found out the hard way. As you all know, I have a lot of vacation banked. I usually don't take time off for the sake of taking time off. And so I was able to carry over because of COVID working at a hospital. They let us carry over more than usual. And I got it paid out at the end of this year. And I thought they were going to do like 2 separate, but they put it all into this most recent paycheck and they taxed the fucking hell out of it. So, bet your ass I'm going to be taking all kinds of vacation this year.
Use it all.
I got like 6 or 7 weeks this year. because I
Holy
still
crap.
I still
Holy
carried
shit.
over. I still carried over all last year's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I need that kind of vacation.
Right?
Yeah, no,
Right?
the only time I took off this year was the week and a half for VAM, and then obviously, well, the 2 months, but I was on disability, short-term
Yeah.
disability for the
I
wreck.
gotcha.
Yeah, I don't take time off usually unless I'm going somewhere. I mean, like I won't even do like a long weekend.
Yeah.
I take my time off. If I don't, I will kill someone at my job.
Yeah.
Well, in fairness, the last 2 years, things have been different. I'm only in the office 2 days a week, Monday and Friday. So
I work by myself, and I'll still end up killing a coworker. I'm a local truck driver, and dealing with my upper management is. I'm just like, you did this job before. You remember this job?
Upper management and traffic.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about the damn traffic. I don't know who. I don't know who acts around. I don't know between the motorcycle and the rig, which one people act more stupid around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's stop tailgating the trucks. It does not give you better fuel mileage. It just pisses off the truck driver.
Mhm.
All right.
And stop tailgating the motorcyclists. Not all of us do 200 miles an hour.
No kidding.
I did a video a while back called "A Motorcyclist Pissed Me Off," and I've seen a little. For whatever reason, people think it's fun to like run their hand down the side of an 18-wheeler on a motorcycle.
Jeez.
I don't understand this. It makes zero sense to me. It had just got done raining. It had been raining all damn day, and I had a guy on a sport bike. Like I was doing 65, I think is what my truck tops out at. And he must have been doing 80 plus, and he ran his hand from the back of my trailer all the way down with the spray rolling off my tires. And I'm like, dude, if you fuck up, I'm going to kill you. Like, that's just...
If he sneezes.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, hell, it's been raining all day. There's wind. There's everything else. The wind gusts that go underneath those trucks. I mean, if they're strong enough to rock a 40,000-pound truck,
Yeah.
what do you think it's going to do to your motorcycle when it comes underneath there? And I don't understand it. And it's like everyone's retarded around an 18-wheeler. Or hell, if a tire blows out on an 18-wheeler, it'll cut a motorcyclist in half.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a tandem trailer I pass every night coming home from work, and even on the days it isn't windy, he's still doing this down the highway. I'm like, I'm not screwing around. I'm getting by him as fast as I can.
That's a guy that needs a nap.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same truck every night. This guy, the tandem trailer does this.
He's running drop trailers for probably one of the drop yards, taking two trailers up for two different drivers to take out. Yeah, those guys work from like 5 o'clock in the evening to like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
City to city.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a local company too. They do mostly like food type stuff.
A lot of times food people like Benny Keith, Cisco, stuff like that. I know whenever I worked for Cisco, we ran out of just the Houston yard. We ran trucks to Beaumont, College Station, and then down to Lamarck. Or not Alvin. So was one more drop yard, but I don't remember where it was. So these guys are leaving and they got an hour and a half ride plus every direction they're going. And they're riding out with two trailers and coming back bobtail and picking up two more and taking them out. And they do that all night long. And driving an 18-wheeler that tops out at 63 to 65 miles an hour, it gets real fucking boring riding through the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Not to mention the deer, and we have bears that run out once in a while, and
yeah, I know.
Then you get the asshole 18-year-old kid driving mommy's car that likes to slam on his brakes when it's snowing out. Yeah,
Oh,
I dealt with that coming home the other night, coming down the hill. It was snowing pretty good. I got good snow tires. I've got good traction. This kid decided every time he get to deep snow, slam on his brakes in front of me. I'm like, you're lucky I'm not driving my old blue piece of shit, because I would have just kept my foot in the gas and pushed your little 3-cylinder car off the road and kept going.
Where I live at, if there's a chance of snow flurries, they shut down the highways and everyone shits their IQ out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they can't even drive in the rain down here. Like if it just starts to mist rain, you'll have people riding in the fast lane with their hazards on, doing 20 miles under the speed limit.
Yep.
And it's I don't understand Texas drivers. I don't. And it's not just Houston. It's San Antonio, Austin, Dallas. They're all retarded. And Houston's so bad. Like I don't understand the guy that needs to do 105 in bumper to bumper traffic.
Yeah.
And then the guy that does 35 miles an hour on the freeway when there's no traffic. Everybody's just running 80 miles an hour and he's doing 35.
The funny part is if you go what is east on I-10 over to Florida, it's all 100% opposite of Texas.
Oh yeah. Florida's ridiculous. Like and Florida, there's no such thing as a damn turn signal. They're just going to change lanes. Like
or speed limit. You're doing 20 over the speed limit to keep up, and there are people just flying past you.
Yeah.
You look over, it's blue hair grandma.
Yeah, doing 105. And yeah, it's insane. In Texas, I mean, at least we turn the turn signal on, unless you drive a BMW or a Volkswagen Passat. And
you don't have to.
Yeah, no, they didn't come with turn signals. But the turn signal doesn't mean you're going one lane. You could be crossing the entire freeway.
Yeah.
Because you're in the far left lane and your exit is now. And yeah, it's retarded. People get pissed off at me because we don't have lane splitting or sharing in Texas. And I'm not sitting on the freeway in 105 degree temperature. And then you're sitting on the freeway, so now it's already 140 sitting on the freeway, but you're breathing in everybody's exhaust fumes. And I hit the shoulder. I'll only do like maybe 25 miles an hour down the shoulder, but I'll have people jump over in front of me.
Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What are you doing?
Traffic police.
I don't have air conditioning. Kiss my ass. Get out of my way. I've been known to take my helmet off. It gets so damn hot and hang it on my sissy bar and get on the shoulder and just ride real slow down the shoulder. Just keep moving. As you just can't stop sweating. And the heat does nothing. The wind going over you does nothing. It just makes it worse.
I usually just have like a cup of water in my cup holder, and then as I'm going down the road, I just throw it in my face.
I don't have a cup holder.
There you go.
He's on a Dyna. He hasn't got a big boy bike yet.
If I had a cup holder on my bike, it would just shake everything out of it.
Get one of those little fans with the water, the little mister, and like to your handlebars. Just hit that every once in a while.
Yeah, I learned my lesson with this last helmet I bought, though. I'll never own a black helmet in Texas again.
No, for sure.
That's my wife made the right choice. She bought a bright white one. I was like, yeah, people will be able to see you, and you won't get so damn hot. What's up?
Said you get pink to match your Dyna.
You're breaking up. all I heard was meat. What? What about the Dyna?
Said you could get pink to match your Dyna. You know, like Brokeback Mountain. That's what the Dynas ride, right?
Oh no! The funny thing was when I put that club style fairing on that bike, everybody's like, "Oh, Sons of Anarchy fan, huh?" Never seen an episode, bro.
Yeah, I was watching Ride to Food. She had her whole trip that she did. I actually mentioned because Throttle Fiend and I and Motos and Mini met them at Sheets on that trip. We were coming back from Van 21. But they stopped at that one hotel somewhere, and it was like all the cicadas. I'm like, yeah, that's one of the reasons why I wear a full face helmet on the highway. You know, as hot as it gets, I'm like, yeah, they had the cicadas all over. They're trying to trap them in their hotel room. And
we have June bug season down here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever taken a June bug to the throat at 70 miles an hour, but that'll make you pull a bike over.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, even with having a full face helmet, I was going through a construction zone one time, and I had the helmet closed, but the vents were open, and I had to stop. And I'm sitting there, next thing you know, this wasp is crawling down the inside of my helmet. I'm like, nope. I'm doing one of these. Luckily, I had the bike in neutral already while I was waiting. I'm doing this, trying to get it out of my helmet. And people behind me are like, "What the hell is this guy doing?" He's like trying to get the wasp out. Like, no, I've had a couple times where bees end up inside my helmet. They must just go on the vent and like crawl their way down.
Somebody
Had
just
a
posted my done life bee hitting inside your jacket. Yeah, I've had that. I've had one go up my sleeve before.
Yeah, a buddy of mine had his feet up on the highway pegs, and one went up his pant leg.
Oh no!
Yeah,
he hit this parking lot in this church. It was all gravel. He's grabbing brake everywhere on this fat boy, just going all over the place. I'm like, what in the world are you doing? He's got his pants down to his ankles in the middle of this church parking lot, and I'm like, dude.
My buddy that I used to ride with all the time, he on his Road King, he'd wear like little shorts and he'd have like his sandals and shit on. He'd be riding along, a bee would fly right up inside his shorts. I'd see him back there doing this.
If he looks like that, he deserves it.
Yeah.
He finally quit wearing shorts and stuff though, but I'm like, he would have his sandals on, and I'm like, Jesus, you're not going to the beach. We're going on like a 200-mile ride. I don't care how hot it is, just ride faster.
Yeah, that's no. The one time I used to wear shorts on the freeway. Like I would go to work and wear shorts and just get off work and have pants with me and wouldn't change into them. And one time I decided to go ahead and change into pants, and I'm riding home and somebody hit a damn gator skin tire in the road.
Oh, yeah, gator.
And that thing jumped up and slapped me in a damn leg. And I'd never been happier to have pants on in my life. And I've never ridden in shorts since. I was like, nope. That was the end of that.
Speaking of that, you were talking about truck driving. I had a truck driver save my life one time, and I always try to, if I can't see their mirror, they can't see me, right? So I always try to stay where I can see their face from the side mirror. And he swerved over to the left. I was in the very far right lane, and I was like, "What is this guy doing?" And there was a gator in the road.
Oh,
he could have went underneath his wheel, and I'm on my bike and just knocked me off and probably potentially kill me, right? So he saw
gator
me
might have
and he
flipped the
swerved as
truck
quickly as he could. So, yeah.
Ooh, Miss Steve.
Yeah.
You didn't do that talking, that non-intercom communication?
he slapped him in the head. Stop. Yeah, my wife and I, the first time we traveled, her her parents used to live in Iowa, and the first time we had to go through, where was it? Somewhere in Ohio, one of the cities in Ohio. We were on the way to Iowa, and we're driving along. Next thing you know, there's a shovel in the road. Luckily, the shovel, like, it came off the back of a truck and was doing one of these. And instead of coming up in the air, it dropped down at the last minute and went underneath her car. But that thing, you imagine being on a bike, they would have cut you right in half.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But we were lucky it didn't come to the windshield on the car that day.
Living where I live, it's perfectly normal to see a ladder laying in the freeway.
Yeah. There's
we're talking 20-foot long extension ladders just laying in the road, and people just running it over. No big deal. Mattresses, couches, all in the freeways.
There's a nice leather love seat sitting on the side of the road on the way to work. I was tempted to stop by there one day.
Fumigate
it. Yeah. I thought about just stop, get something to eat one day, park the car on the side of the road, and just sit there and kick back and eat. Watch the traffic go by.
Yeah, where I live, you can't trust a leather couch. It's going to have hobo piss on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I drive the highway every day. I got about an 80-mile round trip, and I see shit on the side of the road all the time. I've had I had a couch come out of the back of a truck one time. I was throwing out an old couch at work, and it was sitting in the back of my truck. I'm like, oh, it's a heavy couch. It's not going to come out. I'm driving along. I get almost all the way to work, and I'm like, fuck the couch go. It's gone. The wind scooped it up out of the back of my truck, threw it out on the side of the road somewhere. I'm like, well, somebody else will have a new couch, I guess. I still never figured out where it was.
The scariest thing I've seen come out of the back of a car or out of the back of a truck was when I was actually on my motorcycle going down the freeway, and I just happened to notice it, and I slowed down and changed lanes. This black thing kept rising up in the back of his truck, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And finally, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to slide over. And I slid over the next lane. And about the time I slid over, his whole bed liner came out of his truck.
Jesus.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, wow. And I see that all the time down here. Just those plastic bed liners sitting on the side of the road, all shattered to pieces and everything else.
Yeah.
Because eventually a cop will stop, and instead of like doing anything with it, they just drag it off to the shoulder.
Yeah.
And like once a month, the crew comes through with a big truck and picks up all the furniture and spare tires and
That's the DOC guys, right?
random shoes. I never understood the random shoes on the freeway.
That means Miss Stevie's ridden through there.
That's what's his name? Blew out his flip flop and stepped on a pop top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett.
It's
I
always
did
like-
see a guy one time riding through Jamestown on a Sportster with flip flops and those like Daisy Duke shorts on, and I'm like, holy shit!
He was going to trade a Sportster in for a Dyna.
That's really all a Dyna is, man. It's just a big Sportster.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. And everybody's like, oh, you're Dyna bro? No, I don't own a flannel shirt. I don't have a Simpson helmet.
I'm not gay.
Pretty much.
Although a lot of people think my helmet is a Simpson because it's that drag style helmet. But it's a Scorpion.
Oh, how many people are still got 19 people hanging around?
Yeah, I
don't know why.
Yeah, I've granted being newer to riding, I've never understood the whole Dyna hate stuff. I mean, other than good nature, I mean, everybody gives everybody else shit. I mean, I got shit when I owned a Sportster.
Well, if you ever upgrade to a CVO, you got to get bedazzled pants.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but I never. I mean, yeah, I get some of it, but I just everybody who knows me knows it. If you're on two, you're one less cager, and your family.
It's just the funny stereotypes. It's like the good old fashioned Boosa boy.
Yeah.
You hear the word Boosa, you think of a guy that's 400 pounds wearing them shorts, a tank top, flip flops, and he's got a helmet strapped to the side of his bike.
Yeah.
I've seen that several times.
Oh yeah,
it's everywhere. I mean, even the Indian people do it. You got the guys with the big, full dress. I'm riding a man's bike. Yeah, you're riding a Miata with two wheels. That's all you're doing. You couldn't afford the other two wheels on your little sports car.
It's like
that's
Big
like the
Smitty
same thing.
At least Big Smitty's funny about it. Like with his Honda old wing.
Oh yeah.
And he's done videos. This is brought to you by Geritol and Ben Gay. At least he understands stereotypes. He thinks they're funny. And I just find it funny that there's guys that still get butt hurt behind the stereotype of their bike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like they all have them. Like
Yeah.
Mr. McSash with the ultra classy. He fits all the stereotypes.
Yep, sure do.
I've always said the only you can only feel inferior if or somebody can only make you feel inferior if you let them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
You're
I
gonna catch
got to
shit.
ride an ultra classy now or an ultra classic now because I've had a heart attack. So I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't qualify for any other bike.
Yeah.
My guy I work with had a heart attack, and they took his driver's license away for like a month.
Really?
So, yeah, in New York. So of course New York.
of course, New York. Of course, New York.
Yeah. We all know that story with my New York shit. So
Stevie O. Did you see Miss Stevie's comment?
no, see,
She'd love to have a Stevie O, but instead she's going to have her a Stevie O.
yeah,
Funny. It's it's like I love the big badass biker. The guy that's oh man, I ride blah 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 blah. You give him a scooter, he will ride it.
yeah,
It's one of those things. Yeah, exactly. I think small CC bikes and scooters are fun as hell to ride around on.
oh yeah,
Like I take my wife's 125 out, and everybody laughs at me because I look like a fucking gorilla in the circus. But it's fun as hell to ride. You got to be going downhill with a good tailwind to get up to 60 miles an hour, but it'll do it. And I've done everything in my power to try to make it do a burnout, make it do a wheelie. It won't. I've even put. The funny thing is, I've made my kid's mini bike do a burnout, and I had to put the front tire against the curb. I put my wife's against the curb and tried to do it, and all I did was stall the motor.
You get off a 900-pound bike and get on something a little smaller. Stuff gets lost up here somewhere.
Oh yeah. Well, my wife makes fun of me because I have to run to the convenience store to get cigarettes or beer, get her wine or whatever for the night, and I'll jump on her bike, and she's like, "Why are you taking my bike?" I'm like, "Mine weighs 700 pounds. Yours weighs 300 pounds. Which one do you want to push backwards out of the driveway just to run to the convenience store?" I'm going on two wheels regardless.
That Chinese bike I bought. Oh, I fucking love that thing. It's so slow. Like I got it up to 63 that one day, but it's so fun. I can do whatever the hell I want to it. It starts no matter what. Even my Scout won't do that when it's certain temperatures. It's a 8.5 to 1 compression. That thing's going to start whether you want it to or not. It just keep a good battery in it. It's got kickstart. I haven't had to use the kickstart yet, but
that was the one thing I got depressed about when I bought this 80 GS 450 because I thought it still would have kickstart. No, they stopped that in 79.
Actually, funnily enough, I didn't even realize this until after we bought it. But the Navi actually comes with a kickstart.
Yeah, the Navi has a kickstart, which is funny because the Groms don't.
Right.
Yeah.
And I want to say, doesn't the Cub have a kickstart on it?
Mm-hmm.
I think the new Cub
so. Yeah.
And the trail, and it's all the same motor.
Yeah.
But they didn't put a kickstart on the Grom, and I'm like, that would have actually made the Grom like one notch up and some kind of cool factor.
Yeah. Man, I was looking at those trail Honda scooters there. Because they started making them again. I think they still have a kickstart on them.
Yeah, there's a guy that lives here in the Houston area, Quasi Motard. And he's got, you guys have seen his stuff. He's got a bunch of little 125. He's got the Cub, the Navi, I think he has a Grom. I know he's got the Trail. And I think when he bought one of the Cubs, or there was the Trail 50, he had to go to like Beaumont or something and pick that thing up and ride it back to Houston like an hour and a half, taking nothing but side roads because you can't go on the freeway with it.
I started watching a show. It's called Throttled Out, and they were doing an episode with they're the 2-wheel drive bikes. There's one. It's like basically like it's got big tractor tires on the front and the back.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I can't remember what kind of bike it was, but it looked like the most uncomfortable bike to ride because you sit kind of like right in the middle, and the handlebars are here. But like he's riding, they're out in the woods like clearing paths for people to do. They're like dirt bike riding. Like that's kind of cool, the all-wheel drive. I don't know how the hell it works, but
it's like back in the 90s when I first started riding dirt bikes and stuff. We had a guy that had an old Polaris Fat Cat that had there's a dirt bike because I think it was a 125.
Yeah.
Automatic transmission, but the tires on it were wider than a mini bike's tires. They were huge. They were like 4-wheeler tires. Yeah, I mean they were just gigantic. And it was the weirdest bike you've ever ridden in your life. To get that thing to go around a corner took an act of Congress.
But Yamaha has that TT 200 or 230, something like that, with the big fat tire. Yep. If you ever get a chance to check this show out, it's on Motor Trend on Demand. It's Throttled Out.
Did you catch
they do all kinds of stuff. COVID.
I'm getting over COVID right now.
Yeah, I had it. That's what I had a couple weeks ago. So I haven't ridden bikes since then.
We finally have an absolutely gorgeous day, and if I walk around for more than a few minutes, I get dizzy as shit. And everybody's like, "Hey, you want to go for a ride?" And I'm like, "No, I don't need to be on a bike."
So we had good weather. We had good weather up until I got sick, and then after that, it's just been shit here.
Oh, it's like 50 degrees here today, and the sun's out. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I'm like, I wish, but I don't trust myself enough to get on it.
Yeah. That's why I bought that China bike to ride in the snow, and I haven't been able to because the temperature just dropped. It's too cold to be even enjoyable.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know, man. Like, well, I mean, dirt bikes, like if it's got off road capacity, it's just fun regardless.
yeah, I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna do a lot
Do
of
the
short
old-
rides with that this year.
do
Try
the
to
old
keep
put
some
it-
of the miles off the other bike.
Do the old put it in neutral and squat down next to the pipe and get your hands next to the head pipe, get them good and warm again, and climb back on. I think the funniest thing I've ever seen somebody do is when I had my old my old intruder. I rode it from work, and it's a 45-minute ride in from work. And my wife wanted me to stop at Walmart and pick up a couple of things that fit in the backpack or whatever. There's a little bobber. And I get off the bike, and I'm taking my gear and shit off and getting it ready to go into Walmart and all that good noise. And two guys come out, and they're standing there, and I always park right at the front door. There's bucket. I'm not parking in the parking lot. I'm parking at the front door, and I'm walking inside. And they come out, and they're talking about the bike, and they're like, "Oh man, cool looking bike if you did this or that or whatever." And if it got the rust off the head pipe and the dude touches my head pipe.
Jesus.
And I'm sitting there watching him the whole time, and I'm like, he's not going to. And he touched it. And I was like, oh, I'll bet that hurt like a sumbitch. And he turns and looks at me and I'm holding my helmet in my hand. I was like, teach you to touch another man's bike, dude. And I walked inside. But, yeah. I'm going to get off here, guys. I got to go inside if I can lay down. I'm
Hey,
All right.
thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
See ya.
Guys, have a good one.
All right, you too.
You too. Yeah, I think I'm going to start calling it quits here.
Yeah. Hey,
We
thanks
got
for
all our
everybody
questions. Yeah. It was nice Toby got to join up with us for a little bit.
Yep.
I was hoping we get a sneak preview of something, but we didn't.
Yeah.
Well, we got a pretty good turnout in the comments. No,
Dad
no,
Mad showed up. How about that?
Hey,
Yeah.
Dad Mad.
yeah, I've been trying to watch the comments today, but everybody kind of behaved themselves. That's kind of disappointing.
Well,
Nah,
yeah,
AB threw some stuff out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
AB was
AB will always throw stuff out there.
Miss Stevie was a big score today. Usually
Yeah.
Dan's in here causing trouble,
But all right, kids. Well, I guess we'll call it a day. We got through our questions. Pretty good turnout today. Do it again in another month. Come up with some more questions, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for everybody watching. See you next month. I see a bunch of comments still lining up here, but yeah, everybody. Hopefully, everybody enjoyed it. Get some more stuff going on. Maybe we'll talk about some trips or something in the next one. I'd like to have Mr. G get on here again.
Yeah.
We had him
great.
last year because I'm going to VAM 22. I got my hotel situation figured out, so kind of like to see if he's got anything else planned this year. Sounds like him and 10 rides have couple different rides planned.
yeah, we're
From what I've been seeing. Yeah. But all right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. We're going to sign off now. Bye for now. Maybe. See ya.
Later.